I'm Rahul Vaze from Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai, and this is joint work with Jay Krishnan Nair from IIT Bombay. We're going to talk about network speed scaling. So let me begin with the basic speed scaling problem. So imagine there is a single server where jobs are arriving over time, and the speed of this server is tunable that you can adjust it. So if you operate the server at speed s, the amount of power it's going to spend is P of s, where for example, you can assume P of s to be s to the power alpha. And for these jobs which are getting served by the server at speed s, let's define the flow time or the delay as the time difference between the departure and arrival of each particular job. So the objective function we're going to assume is that we want to combine the flow time of jobs summed across all the jobs. So that's what we call as total flow time, and the total amount of energy spent by the server, because as speed changes, the power changes, and the integral of power essentially is going to be give us the energy. And the trade-off is pretty clear that faster the speed, smaller is the flow time. So you want to combine the two and take a linear combination of them and try to minimize them, where the decisions are going to be speed and the scheduling decision, where which given the current set of outstanding job, which job should be processed at any time. A simple reformulation of the problem tells us that the flow time can also be written as integral of n of t dt, where n of t is nothing but the number of outstanding jobs at time t. So this is what the formulation we're going to consider throughout the rest of the talk. So just to recap, that the objective function is going to be total flow time plus the total amount of energy spent in the system. So this is a basic speed scaling problem which has been well considered in literature. So the problem we want to solve or understand is the following. So imagine that you're given a network which is described by a graph or a directed graph to be particular, where there are multiple sources and destinations, and each source gets its packet arrival over time. And the objective or the extension of the single server problem to this setting is essentially as follows, that for each source, consider the ni of t to be the number of outstanding jobs. They could be anywhere in the network, and you integrate this with respect to time. So that will give you a flow time summed across all sources in the network. And given that each source or each node in this network can operate at speed s, for example, for a node j, let sj of t to be the speed at time t. Then you also take an integral with respect to p of sjt and sum it across all nodes in the network. That will count the total energy being spent in the network. So this is essentially going to give you a trade-off between flow time and energy. The faster the nodes, the lower will be flow time. And we want to minimize this objective function, which is a linear combination of flow time and energy with respect to the choice of speed at each node, how to route the incoming traffic at each source, and how to schedule these packets at each of the intermediate nodes. We are going to look at the online algorithm setting, by which we mean that algorithms only have causal information. So at time t, the only amount of information available at each node is only the information about packets that are arrived till time t. And we're also going to look at centralized control, that every node in the network is aware of what else is happening in the network. So the competitive ratio, which is the figure of merit for online algorithms, is defined to be as follows. So consider the cost of an online algorithm ON, and let's call that for a particular input sigma to be V on of sigma. Similarly, V OPT of sigma is going to be the cost of optimal offline algorithm for the same input sigma. And you take the ratio. So this is clearly for a minimization problem greater than 1. And you look at the worst possible sequence, which will maximize this ratio. And that is defined to be the competitive ratio of a particular online algorithm. In the stochastic setting, the metric is slightly simpler, where you take the expected cost of an online algorithm and divide that with respect to the expected cost of the optimal offline algorithm. And the goal in both these settings is that you want to minimize or find an online algorithm with minimum possible competitive ratio. So the single server problem has been very well understood in the literature. So just to recap, there is a single server which can operate at speed s by paying the cost of p of s. So culminating, so there is a large body of work which essentially ended with a couple of papers in 2009 and 10, which essentially showed that if you choose the speed at time t to be equal to p inverse of the number of jobs in the system, you get the best competitive ratio, and that competitive ratio is given by expression equal to 2. One thing to recall here is that with a single server, the optimal scheduling algorithm is actually known to be SRPT, that is serve the job with the shortest remaining processor time. This setting has also been extended to a bank of parallel servers where each job can be processed in any of the K servers without any splitting. And the algorithms of the following class is what has been proposed. So here, the first thing to notice is that the optimal scheduling algorithm is now unknown with multiple parallel servers. So in this class of scheduling algorithms, it is known that the competitive ratio can be made to be equal to 2 times alpha for a power functions of the kind P of S is equal to S power alpha. So notice that with multiple servers, the dependence of alpha now becomes explicit, while with a single server, there is no dependence on alpha. In recent work, we have been able to show that a simpler algorithm, which essentially just does multi-server SRPT, that is, if there are k total servers, always run the k shortest jobs available in the system. And for that, we are able to show that the competitive ratio remains 4 times 2 to the power alpha. So coming to the problem at hand, which is the network speed scaling problem, unfortunately, nothing much is known as far as we know. And essentially, it's a novel problem in the fact that here we're directly able to model the delay and the amount of energy being spent in the system. One should note that there is a large body on throughput optimality where the speed and the delay are not directly connected, and the more questions of stability are essentially of interest. So let's consider the stochastic case, in which case the network is given by as general network, where at each source, the arrival process is a Poisson random variable with rate lambda. And the objective function is going to be the expected number of outstanding packets at each source throughout the network and the total amount of power being spent by all nodes in the network. And both are in expectation. And the decisions to be taken are routing, that how should an arriving flow should be split across different paths in the network, and the speed chosen for each node V. So this is the objective function. We want to minimize this with respect to routing and speed decisions. So we begin by lower bounding the cost of the OPT as follows. So let lambda IP be any feasible flow on any path from a particular source to a destination pair. So lambda IP is going to be the feasible flow on path P for the ith source destination pair. And for each node V, let's just collect all the flow that passes through V. So lambda V is just the amount of flow passing through V for that feasible flow given by lambda IP. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower bound the expected energy cost that node V has to pay. So it's very simple exercise. So the expected value of energy is going to be given by expected value of P of S of V, when the speed of node V is going to be S of V. By Jensen's inequality, what we know is that given that P is a convex function, the expected power spent by node V is at least going to be P of the expected speed chosen by node V. And now note that even though we don't explicitly need stability as a constraint, stability is a necessary condition, because if the system is not stable, what we are going to see is that the flow time goes to infinity, in which case the objective function is unbounded. So stability is a necessary condition, which essentially implies that the expected speed at which source V work, node V works should be at least as much as the amount of flow going through it in any feasible flow. So that just tells us that the expected amount of energy cost any node V is going to pay is at least as much as P of lambda of V. Now this gives us an easy way of lower bounding the total cost of the system. So what we're going to do is we want to sum P of lambda V essentially across all nodes in the network, subject to a constraint that the flow should be feasible. That is, across all paths for a source destination pair, the total amount of traffic should be equal to lambda I. Substituting for the expression of the total flow going through network lambda V, what you end up getting is a convex program, and the optimal answer of this convex program is going to be a lower bound on the cost of OPT. So we are actually essentially going to use this convex program for dual purposes. One is to lower bound the OPT, and also to define our algorithm, which is as follows. So the algorithm we're going to define as follows. So let lambda star be the optimal answer obtained by solving this convex program. So the algorithm which we define is going to route on path P for the ith source destination pair lambda star IP amount of traffic. And for node V, we aggregate all the flow going through node V from lambda star IP and call that lambda star of V. And the speed at which node V is going to operate is going to be lambda star V plus a small slack, which is dependent on the exponent alpha driven by the power function P of S is equal to S power alpha. So given these two things, the lower bound and this algorithm, what we can show is that the competitive ratio of this algorithm is at most equal to 2 factors, which is given by theta of alpha and theta of network, where theta of alpha only depends on alpha and is given by this expression. Theta network is slightly more complicated. Let me try to parse this through. So consider only the IS source destination pair, and let L of P be the length of path P for that IS source destination pair. And let L min of I be the length of the shortest path for this source destination pair. So what we're going to take is the ratio of these LP divided by L min and take a linear combination weighted with the optimal answer given by the lower bound convex program, which is lambda star of IP, and sum it over all paths P from going from source to destination I, and take the ratio with respect to 1 by lambda I. So theta I is going to be defined as a weighted linear combination of the ratio of the length of the paths with respect to the minimum or the shortest path, and theta network is going to be the maximum of this quantity over all possible source and destination pairs. So even though it looks complicated, it actually is a very nice interpretation, which can be given as follows. And one point one should notice here is, it's kind of interesting, which is not the typical property one can exhibit, that the competitive ratio here can be explicitly computed once you solve this convex program. So theta network is completely dependent on the solution of the optimal convex program. And as long as you know the length of these paths, so once you specify the network and solve this convex program, you can exactly write down what the competitive ratio is going to be. So let's try to interpret the quantity theta network. So for the IS source destination pair, suppose the network is well balanced, by which I mean is that the length of the maximum or the longest path with respect to the shortest path is bounded by a constant C. So essentially that's what I mean by a network being balanced, that no two paths going from a source to destination pair are very different in terms of their length. If such a thing happens, then theta I can be readily seen to be at most C, since the summation of the traffic across all paths in the network has to add up to lambda I. So this theta I simply simplifies to be theta I less than the constant C. And what we end up getting is that if such a expression holds for all source destination pairs, the theta network itself is at most C. So for a well-balanced network, what we can show is that the competitive ratio is at most a constant. Now, in the other case where the network is not well balanced, what could happen is the following, that the length of a path P prime could be much larger than the shortest length. And let us quantify that with respect to the number of nodes in the network and call it some function G of V. So P prime path here is, for example, in this case, is the red path, which is much longer than, let's suppose, a one hop path from S3 to D3. In such a case, what is going to happen is that the amount of traffic given by this optimal convex program on this longer path is going to be very small, because there is a shortest path available and most of the traffic is going to get routed over this particular path. So even when the network is unbalanced, automatically, because of the optimality properties of lambda star, the solution of the convex program, what we're going to see is that theta I is going to be small even when the network is unbalanced. So either case, when the network is balanced, you automatically get the competitive ratio to be constant. While if the network is unbalanced, the properties of the convex program are going to make sure that the amount of traffic going over a longer path is small, keeping theta I small, and is equivalently keeping theta network small. So these are basically what we are able to show for the stochastic case. So we also derive results for the worst case input for the following classes of networks. So first we look at line network, where there is a single source destination pair connected by a series of servers. A series parallel network, where there is a single source destination pair and there is a series of parallel servers. And for both of them, we can show that the competitive ratio remains independent of the network size. We also look at the more general network, which is a superposition of series parallel networks, and in which case the competitive ratio is shown to be of the order, the maximum degree of any node in the network. So for lack of time, we'll not be able to give details on this particular, in the worst case setting. So let me summarize. So speed scaling is a difficult problem in networks. We have, as far as we know, it's like kind of the first work which has looked at speed scaling in networks. What we're able to show is that for both the stochastic and the worst case setting, we can derive non-trivial upper bounds. For the stochastic setting, the competitive ratio can be shown to be small for any network and can be explicitly computed. For the worst case, For the general network, the competitive ratio in fact ends up depending on the maximum congestion, and we don't know if it is tight or not. So I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you want a longer version of this video, you can watch it here, and thanks.